was very precise about the way I do things, and I'm still very precise about how I light. Up here is just pages and books and books and books of hand drawings of lighting plans. I don't do it on computer. I do very, very simple hand drawings of every location, pretty much every scene that I'm going to shoot on a movie, because I know how I'm going to light it. You know, the last movie, the movie I've just shot, I think they were here. This is a studio set, which is not massive, not particularly big set, but this is a green screen here, and then we had blacks and different lighting setups. It all go back to a dimmer. Different lighting setups for day, night, dusk, dawn. So this was the plan that I did, and I gave it to the best boy, and he rigged it, and he did a great job of rigging it. And I know what all the equipment is, and I know all the. I can put all the stands down, and I can be very specific. So I give that information to the gaffer and the best boy in pre-production, and then I just expect them to get. And these are for locations that have been rigged before you get there. So I expect them to get, and then I can be as precise as they want me to be. But I like to do that for every location, just hand-drawn lighting plans. And I'm quite specific about what they are and how their lights are flagged. And I know you can do this on a computer now, but I don't really want to change. You know what? I secretly enjoy it. I secretly enjoy doing lighting plans. I don't know why. I secretly enjoy doing lighting lists. I don't know why. People like playing golf. I like drawing lighting plans. You know, but I like drawing them, and I like having different colours. And so then you can and it works. It just works because you go, this is what I want. Go and rig that, and then they can be very specific about where all these lights are how they're gonna fit into the schedule of the movie, and how they fit into the budget for the lighting. You know, so they're technically correct if the light's put in the right place. It's not going to be far off. I didn't use that actually. Didn't use that. Get rid of that. I couldn't really have become the cameraman I am now without that experience. You know, and a lot of DPs in this country don't come from that background. In America, they come from that background quite a lot. So but over here, it's an approximation. It allows them to rig, so they know how much power to put in different places. Whether they need two generators, one generator that side of the building, another one there. And if the gaffer's good and gets it, you know. You see, that was the location there. This is that location there. So it's pretty big, and these were the windows we were lighting through. Because you don't want to get there and go, oh, you know what? The wrong windows. We want the windows the other side, because you got to kill the production. And I don't want to wait around anyway. So, but I do it for all the locations for the movie. So that's a brand new movie that I just shot. And then I've got these for all of them really. They're the same crap drawings. They haven't got any better. The mechanics of lighting I think are fascinating. You know, if you do something like The Trip, which is no lighting, light any of it. It's like one light maybe on one scene. But then you can do a movie where you're just lighting every scene. You know, but I enjoy that. I think lighting's a huge part of a cinematographer's job, and something which gets a little bit left behind sometimes. I've got some massive ones for Marigold Hotel. Lighting plans for where you'd have and they had 4, 5, 6 generators because the location was massive. So I've got some really big plans for that.
What location was that one in particular?
That was a scene at the end of the movie, which is like a big dance routine, and it was in this kind of fort. It was their hotel actually, kind of club, whatever. But it had this big, huge walls all the way around it. But so we had lights on all the walls, on the ramparts all the way around, and so it had to be. And there was moving lights, and and it took 2 weeks to rig it. And there was a lot of lights on that, and I did a huge plan for it. And you know what? I stuck to the plan. Try and stick to the plan. Those are the football references for the Damned United. They're still up there. You know, this is American cinematographer going back to 1968. Yeah. Do you see what I mean? You never know when you might need stuff. You see, that's what I think one of the most interesting things about the job is you just don't know when you're going to need something. You know, a book about King Lear, Paris in the past. Look at that. Just never know when you're going to need to see a painting painted in 1684. See, that is an amazing painting, David. This is in the Louvre, I think. That's a great painting. And that's another one. This is for the dresser, the thing I did with Anthony Hopkins. So you get these drawings from the proper scale drawings from the design department, and then you just... This was a great set, but backstage for theatre. It's... Why not do it handwritten? I just love it. And just do it all colour-coded. Everybody knows what's going on. It's very simple. You need to know what the lights do. There's so many different types of lights. You really need to know, because if you get the lights wrong, you're just wasting time. That's the problem. These little mini space lights, which were just perfect. And I have these French lanterns. I don't think I'll put any on here. And then it's also, I would do this as well. It's just do camera positions for the scenes. I'd just break the scene down. You'd break it down into parts, because sometimes these depends on the film. Each part was quite long, so each scene was quite long, so I had to break it down. Otherwise, then you change positions for the camera. So. And you kind of go through this with the director, but sometimes I just do this on my own sometimes. See the part 3. It's part 1 of the same scene. Sometimes I just do it on my own, because then I've got a better idea of what I think is going to happen. So I knew that Anthony Hopkins was going to walk in here and stand by the mantelpiece, by the fire, and then have a conversation with Emily Watson, which she would start here, and I knew that was going to happen, so I could design the camera around it. And the actual beginning part of the scene is a Steadicam shot that starts up at the top of the stairs, comes down following Ian McKellen, down the corridor, into the room. Ian McKellen stops there. This is the next part of the next scene, in which I broke down into 3 parts. And again, you can do this on a computer as well, but I prefer drawing it out, actually. I prefer the physicality of having this. The hardest bit about lighting, as most cameramen will know, is that it's the thing that happens. You can pre-rig as much as you like, but when you've got actors moving around, it's the thing that happens just before you go for a take. So, and you could be moving around lots of equipment, and it can be painful sitting there waiting for stuff to happen when you should be shooting, and you've got 100 people watching you going, "Why aren't you shooting? And can you get on with it?" And I go, "I've just got to finish this, and that lamp just fell over, and I've just got to change the bulb." But I find it fascinating. It's a really interesting part of my job.